Lost in the Script, episode 59. When you know, you know.
It's if you know, you know.
But I didn't know. I don't know. I thought it was some fraternity shit you had up there. Ain't never heard of it in my life.
Yeah, this is the first time going live. We doing this song. I have to upload this shit. You know, this whole time I've been uploading this post recording, and it's taking hours to do this. Now I didn't realize you can just go live and, you know.
Well, you've been making it hard on yourself.
Yeah, have it already uploaded. So if anybody shows up, how you doing? We just did this spur of the moment. But anyway, we can go ahead and get right into it. The shooting. Well, we already talked about one shooting in Buffalo. Now there's been a whole nother one in
Texas.
And the certain people have spoken about this one a lot differently.
Yeah.
So let's okay, let me 21 killed in Uvalde Elementary in Texas, deadliest school shooting ever.
Is that the deadliest shooting ever?
No, they said the Texas deadliest one. I know in Virginia, the Virginia Tech shooting, I think he killed 26 and shot 38 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Then you had obviously Columbine and all those. But I remember with this story, it says 21. And they just talk about how many people were killed in the story. For whatever reason, they're not talking at all about how many people was actually shot. I remember when it first happened, it says 21 killed and it says 17 shot.
Yeah.
So did that 17 shot not happen, or?
You know how they do. You see a headline for one thing, and then you come back, they switch it and they've changed it to something else.
Yeah. So let me go to the story here. It says Robb Elementary teaches second, third, and fourth grade students in Uvalde, which is about 85 miles west of San Antonio. Governor Greg Abbott said the school shooter is believed to have been killed by responding law enforcement. The shooting started around 11:32 a.m. 19 children and 2 adults were killed in the shooting in Robb Elementary School in Uvalde County on Tuesday, making the massacre the deadliest school shooting in Texas history. My heart is broken today. Consolidated Independent School District Superintendent Hall Harrell said while holding back tears during a press conference Tuesday evening, "We're a small community and we need your prayers to get through this." Now, the reason why we named this, if you know, you know, it's because there was another shooting that involved young kids at a school.
Happened 10 years ago.
But we're not allowed to mention it. Literally, YouTube has a guidelines that you can't.
Lawsuits come after your ass when you start saying these allegations towards this certain massacre that happened.
But it's not even the lawsuit. YouTube literally has a policy directly related to that because of Alex Jones.
So if you know anything about what happened to Alex Jones over this certain shooting, then you know, shut the fuck up.
So let me go to the next one here. It says onlookers urge police to charge into Texas school. Now, another story that came out of this, probably the most prominent story other than the actual shooting itself, is how many the police. Yeah. So the parents. So now it's come out now because the timeline.
The parents wanted them to do their job.
Yeah, the timeline at first was so janky. They didn't really know where they was going with it. First, they said he arrived on the scene after shooting his grandmother. They said he arrived on the scene. He shot at 2 people outside of a funeral home. The 2 people ran and got away unharmed. Then he went to the school. They don't know if it was a security guard there that shot at him or not. They don't know what happened. Then they said the door was unlocked. That's how he got in. And we're going to talk about the door being unlocked later and who the cops are blaming for that. He goes into school. Then it says he barricades himself in one. Then it say he fires at responding officers. So somehow he got into school. By the time he got into school, the police were already on the scene apparently.
And he was able to fire
2 rounds at them. Then he ran into a classroom and barricaded himself with children and 2 teachers apparently.
And that's
where he
ended up taking out these.
Started shooting
people.
him. But so that means he didn't shoot anybody before the police came.
He didn't get aggressive till the police were on the scene.
I'm not gonna say he didn't get aggressive, but the shooting of the children came while the police were on the scene.
So you think that would have put some fire under the police officer's ass to go and try to do something?
We've seen them cook. We remember, I can't remember her name. The lady, the one who, the traffic stop, who had all the stuff that happened, and then they end up having a domestic dispute with her baby daddy. The cops came. The one who was suing the county for lead poisoning.
Fidel Castro?
What?
Why the hell did I say Fidel Castro? God.
I think you're talking about
Philando
Castile.
Castile.
But no, not him. The woman who was in Ohio, I believe. She was suing the city for lead poisoning. She had a whole bunch of videos on Facebook saying don't trust the cops and all this stuff.
She said she was a sovereign citizen. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago we talked about this.
Yeah, the cops came in with her kid in there and started shooting.
Yeah.
So why didn't they go in here?
They were being cautious.
Okay, now listen to this. Frustrated onlookers urged police officers to charge into the Texas elementary school where the gunman's rampage killed 19 children, 2 teachers. Witnesses said Wednesday as investigators worked to track the massacre that lasted upward of 40 minutes and ended when an 18-year-old shooter was killed by a Border Patrol team. Go in there, nearby woman shouted at the officers as soon after the attack began, said Juan, 24, who sat in the scene for outside the house across the street from Robb Elementary School in a close-knit town of Uvalde, said the officers did not go in. So that's become a big story. Why didn't the officers go in? Now, I guess what we do know is officers went in and got their kids. Got their kids out.
So they had enough courage to go in and save their kids, but they didn't have enough
exactly
to go in and try to save other people's kids.
So when they went in and got their kids, and then when the parents came out, and most of them was mothers.
Can you imagine?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine this video coming up, you being a medic on the scene, and then you realize that your daughter was killed?
Yeah, that's crazy. So let me just show the video here.
You're holding a picture of your daughter. She
Anderson Cooper, CNN is on the scene?
Yeah.
It just won an honor roll.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about her?
What?
That she was just trying
What?
No, I couldn't hear.
to do the right thing. She was just trying to call the cops. That's she was so scared of just strangers and things like this. Like, she would lock the door when I would step out to put gas in the car. Like, this is literally like her worst fear, and she was just trying to help everyone.
I showed this to say, if a parent just found out their kid was shot in a mass shooting, would you really want to put them on camera? I mean, I don't think that's.
I guess no.
Why as I'm talking about CNN itself, why would you want to put that parent on camera? The reaction is going to be the reaction anyway, because kids were shot.
I would think that most parents wouldn't be able to handle being on screen, being interviewed, just finding out that your kid got killed.
When we saw it with the last one.
You talking about the black woman?
What?
Who are you talking about?
Sandy Hook.
Oh, Sandy Hook. Oh, yeah.
So let me show this one here too. What?
The audio is low.
You can't hear?
Barely. Okay.
I know. It's gonna be
I understand, but she's staying with me. Okay, she's staying with me. All the kids are staying with me.
That's the school?
Now,
I ain't never seen school with doors like that.
It's
like a church door.
I was about to say that.
And normally a school door is like it's more industrial.
Yeah. So that was it. It said that was horrific footage of police and parents searching for children immediately after Texas elementary school shooting. So the parents are coming on the scene themselves. So these people are coming from home, work, and they're going into the school more faster than the officers are. Let me show another one. This right here, this is a video of one of the mothers. Oh, sorry, not the mother. One of the 11-year-olds that was there, describing what happened.
That's an 11-year-old?
No, not.
Oh. I was about to say.
No. Hold on. Oh. Internet's still tripping. They determined to get that 5G up in here, ain't they?
Well, they ain't getting no 5G up in here.
All right, hold on. Okay. Okay, this is it's not going to play then.
Okay, there you go.
Mia Serio was in that fourth grade classroom that we've heard so much about with Miss Garcia, Miss Morales. She said a lot of Mia's friends. The 11-year-old Mia Serio was in that fourth grade classroom that we've heard so much about with Miss Garcia and Miss Morales. She said they were watching Lilo and Stitch because it was the end of the school year. They'd finished their lessons. And she said one of her teachers got an email that there was a shooter in the building and went to the door, and he was right there. And they made eye contact.
The shooter made eye contact with the
teacher. And then he shot out the window in the door. And then Mia says it just happened all so fast. He backed the teacher into the classroom. And he made eye contact with the teacher again, looked her right in the eye, and said, "Good night," and then shot her and killed her.
He said good night before he shot her.
Good night. And then it happened pretty fast after that as well. He started open firing in the classroom. He hit the other teacher, a lot of Mia's friends. At that point, Mia was hit by fragments of the bullets. You could even see them yesterday. I mean, on her back, on her shoulders, the back of her head.
The shooter then, she says, went into the adjoining classroom.
Yeah, so he went through this door to the adjoining classroom, and at that point, Mia could hear screams. She heard a lot more gunfire. And then she said she heard music. She thinks it was the gunman that put it on. He started.
So he was in there so long that she heard gunshots, but it wasn't like he went in there and was just spraying bullets. He took his time, and he even had enough time to play music. Now, another thing I found out is the students were calling police. The students in the class.
I forget that we in the age.
Yeah, we in the age
everybody
where
got cell phones.
11-year-olds, they got phones. They were calling the police saying, "Please come, please help." And the police are right outside. No, it's not funny, but the police are right outside the building, not doing anything.
Yeah, except for when it came to their kids.
Oh yeah. Let me show one. I'm sure another one of the responses from one of the children.
Well, Sharon and Deborah, right before the mayhem, I spoke to a 9-year-old who says that they were just watching a movie right before lunch, and then they started to hear bangs, and that's when their teacher said to hide, and they were on lockdown. And just seconds later, the fourth grader, he got under a table with his friend. They hid underneath during this entire time. He saw the unthinkable, seeing teachers and his classmates all lose their lives.
Shut our next person's door, and then we have a door in the middle, and he opened it, and then he came in and he crouched a little bit, and he said it's time to die. When he shot, it was very loud and it hurt my ear. When I saw the bullets on the floor, it was real.
Recounting the nightmare, this fourth grader, a survivor of the mass shooting inside Robb Elementary. His parents not wanting him on camera, but he wanted to share what happened.
And when I heard the shooting through the door, I told my friend to hide under something so he won't find us. I was hiding hard, and I was telling my friend to not talk because he's going to hear us. The cop said, "Help if you need help." and then one of the persons in my class said help. The guy overheard, and he came in and shot her. And then the cops barged into that classroom, and the guy shot the cops, and the cops just started shooting at.
When the gunman was dead, the child then did this.
Just opened the curtain, and then I just put my hand out, and then I got out with my friends because I knew it was the police when I saw the armor and the shield.
He says his teachers.
So, once again, the guy was able to sit in there and shoot, according to what they're saying. And the cops waited until it was almost all of them were already gone.
Then they decided
to come in. This is crazy. And this lasted for 90 minutes, the entire whatever happened. He was in the school for 40, they say. But let's talk more about these cops. We're going to go ahead and go to this one right here. That's one of the parents saying that they went in.
We ran out. Yes. Porque podía oír todavía, everything was going on, the shooting was still going on. And all I could hear is that he was farther than the other son, so I tried to make it to the other son. Sí, tuve mucho miedo.
Were your children at the funeral home hiding?
No, my niece's class was at the funeral home, behind the funeral home hiding. That's why we couldn't find their class for a long time.
So you still heard like gunshots?
Yes, and I still was in there.
Now, she didn't do anything special. I mean, if you hear your kid getting shot at, you're going to go in, right? But let's listen to what they released. Let's see what they had released about what happened to police. I'm just going to jump down here. It says, the people of Uvalde of Texas and of the nation deserve an accurate account of what transpired. However, state officials have provided conflicting accounts that are at odds with those provided by witnesses, including whether the school security officer and the gunman exchanged fire outside the school, how long law enforcement officers were in adjoining classrooms while the gunman barricaded himself in the classroom with the students and teachers. Moreover, a block of time between 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. local time has yet to be fully accounted for. Onlookers alleged that parents unsuccessfully urged law enforcement to enter the building during this time and to confront the shooter.
I mean, they was at this point, what do we got to lose?
Like,
and I was just like, well, I got a lot to lose. I can lose my life.
It ain't funny, but the cops is like, you can take that chance yourself.
They were like, damn, the kids weren't worth it going in.
The cops pretty much saying, I got mine, so you better go get yours. Let's see what the parents, because they were there. Let's see what it looked like outside for them.
Why are the audios so low?
We're taking care of it. Shit, he ain't done yet. She dead. It's not good. Y'all should have fucking changed that motherfucker like that. No! What the fuck you doing to him?
¿Qué vas a disparar, güey? ¡No es shooting!
Yeah, the motherfucker.
So these are the parents, like,
venting out their frustration.
Now they said it started off politely. Can you please go in?
And now they're like,
what are you doing?
They're like, what are you doing?
It's so bad. And we watch this video. We can go. I'm just gonna jump through. They ended up tackling.
There's a bad body built one.
They ended up tackling one of the students. I'm sorry, one of the parents to the floor and was threatening.
Well, Dave's part was so short they looked like a student.
So the tackle a parent, and they was threatening to tase another one. Like, imagine trying to get you. They're stopping you from going into the school,
and then they won't go into the school.
So it's like,
so you're frustrated.
So at some point,
they're like, if you won't do your job, I'll go in there and do your job for you. And they're like, no, you can't go in. You know, we have to take precaution because there is an active shooter in there. And they're like, fuck that. You know, so
you had to do the accent, didn't you? You just had to do the accent. Now, it was another 18-year-old. But he was Hispanic. His name saying like he was a Salvador Sanchez or something like that.
Hispanic on Hispanic crime.
So we saw a Caucasian male go into Buffalo and shoot.
That was white on black crime.
18-year-old, and now we see an 18-year-old Hispanic shooting. Now, I'm just thinking right now. Just listen to what I'm about to say. Supreme Court, a leak come out, Roe versus Wade may be overturned. Then right behind that, contraception, all this stuff. Then we see him come. Then you saw the guy in Buffalo come out and start talking about replacement theory and birth rates. Now we see him, this Hispanic 18-year-old, shooting children.
He didn't have a manifesto or
no.
He was just winging it.
They said it was random. They said he was. They
Didn't
say
he shoot his grandmother.
Yeah, they say he had no signs of mental illness. One day, I guess he was arguing with his grandmother. He ended up shooting her in the forehead. It didn't kill her. She called the cops. He hops in the car, the truck, runs, crashes, and by the way, he was on I think it was Facebook Messenger or private messenger or something.
He just so happened to crash outside the school, or
no. He was on Facebook Messenger, private messaging, I guess, and he was telling someone that he just shot his grandmother. Then first off, let's talk about the fact that the second he turned 18, he bought 2 rifles. Immediately he turned 18, within days, he bought 2 rifles and 300 rounds.
Or that's the story they're telling us.
That's what I'm saying. So he turned 18, legal age, he get the guns. First off, these are not cheap guns he bought. These guns cost $2,600 up. So they saying, I don't know if this is, what is his neighborhood? You think it's an upscale suburban neighborhood, or more than likely it's a lower income?
It looked like a lower income.
I don't know. But I saw someone say that he was poor. Or they might have been talking about the guy in Buffalo as well, but I don't think he was either. So it's like $2,600 guns, or did he get them for free? Did he do something? What did he do? How did he get these guns? Then 300 rounds. That's a lot of ammo.
Let's release him out of this facility and hand him 2 guns and let him go do what he got to do so that we can get these gun laws changed.
Immediately what we start hearing about, gun reform.
The big guy tweeted out again, and then Separatist Joe,
Jim Crow Joe,
tweeted it out again. Well, he didn't tweet it out. He actually commented on when he was asked about his feedback about what happened, and that's one of the things he talked about was gun
control,
gun reform.
Did you see that press conference that Jim Clyburn and
No, I didn't.
The CBC did about Buffalo?
What did it do?
They pretty much came out and said this is basically, they made it a bigger issue than black issue.
So once again,
yes, the CBC got to go.
The CBC ain't doing shit. Jim Clyburn ain't doing shit. They're talking about other groups that don't have nothing to do with black people.
Yeah. Let's hear what this now. When I play these clips of what these cops were saying, they seem like they really was on some I'm out to get mines, I'm sorry what happened to you type thing. Listen to what these officers had to say about what happened.
I got you. Yes, sir.
You guys have said that he was barricaded. Can you explain to us how he was barricaded and why you guys cannot breach that door?
So I am taking all your questions into consideration. We will be doing updates. We will be doing updates to answer those questions.
To answer that question now, sir.
What is your name?
Shimon.
Hey, what's up? Read it. This nigga right here. Oh Lord. Oh, Mason. Yeah, man. But see, I see here. What's up, MW? Yeah, man. Of course, this is gonna get more attention than Buffalo. And I guess, I mean, I'm just trying to be. Travis always say I'm being. What's the word?
What? Devil's advocate. Here you go. Here you go.
Hold on, MW. Yes, it's gonna get more attention than Buffalo. You know, we know the racial thing. Also, I mean,
I don't think there was any black people harmed in this shooting. There was no black kids.
But I'm about to say that this was the excuse they're gonna make is, I don't even know if it's a bad excuse. It is kids. So I mean, you swing
and we're gonna talk about that too later on. How all these black celebrities are tweeting out in support of this shooting too.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Prokopets from CNN.
I hear you.
Because we've been given a lot of bad information. So why don't you clear all of this up now and explain to us how it is that your officers who were in there for an hour, yes, rescuing people, but yet no one was able to get inside that room.
Shimon, we will circle back with you. We want to answer all your questions. We want to give you the why. That's our job. So give us time. I'm taking all your questions. I'm taking them back to talk to the team.
Can you tell us how the door was barricaded?
Look, thank you for being here. We'll talk soon. We'll talk soon. Thank you. Thank you.
Everything I'm getting from this is when I show y'all these clips, these cops, I'm gonna play the clips first because these cops are, I don't even know how they still gonna have a job after some of the stuff they said, which may be just brutal honesty, maybe. Let me play this right quick. Oh.
Acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement who was wearing body armor. Several police officers were shot. At that point, we did have a tactical law enforcement team arrive on scene. They met Vanessa. So first, I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement that showed up to the scene. That actually, Vanessa. So first, I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement that showed up to the scene.
So the first thing the cop wants to acknowledge is the brave men and women.
That actually were they brave if they didn't want to go into school?
That's what I'm saying. He called them brave when they didn't have courage to go in there. They heard the gunshots too going off.
Involved in the scene actually made entry into this school and saved more lives. That, of course, we lost 18. But I want to praise those brave men and women of law enforcement. Also, offer our condolences on behalf of Texas Department of Public Safety to the families, to the victims, and the entire Uvalde community.
Now, they have 18 children and 3 adults. I thought it was 19 children and 2 adults.
I guess this was earlier in the reporting.
Okay.
So what we do know right now that the suspect was involved in a family disturbance earlier on the day with his grandmother, in which he shot his grandmother. From that point on, what we do know is that local law enforcement received a call of a crash and a man with a gun nearby where the school's at. At that point, local law enforcement responded to the school. The suspect made entry into the school, and as soon as he made entry into the school, he started shooting children, teachers, whoever's in his way. He was shooting everybody.
So the first thing the cop wanted to do
was
praise cops.
That's what they do. You got to make themselves look good.
But listen what else he had to say about why they didn't go in. I'm not going to play this whole clip, but these clips are getting kind of long, so hold on.
But don't current best practices, Lieutenant, call for officers to disable a shooter as quickly as possible, regardless of how many officers are actually on site.
Correct. The active shooter situation, you want to stop the killing, you want to preserve life, but also one thing that, of course, the American people need to understand is that officers are making entry into this building. They do not know where the gunman is. They are hearing gunshots. They are receiving gunshots. At that point, if they proceeded any further, not knowing where this suspect was at, they could have been shot. They could have been killed. And at that point, that gunman would have the opportunity to kill other people inside that school. So they were able to contain that gunman inside that classroom so that he was not able to go to any other portions of the school to commit any other killings.
We didn't go in because we might have got shot.
That's pretty much what I got from the conversation.
That's what he said. The public needs to understand. See, this is why earlier on, you can see why they didn't want to answer any questions about it, because people was at this timeline don't make sense. If y'all went in at this time, it doesn't make sense. I'm now going to show
were aware that
the sheriff and what he had to say.
A 40-minute gap. And if the 911 operators were aware that children were alive in that classroom, why weren't officers notified of that? And if that's the case, why didn't they take action? That's the question. And again, I'll go back to the answer for right now, is that it was considered, okay, the decision was made on the scene. I wasn't there, but at the same point in time, a decision was made that this was a barricaded situation. There was time to retrieve the keys and wait for a tactical team with the equipment to go ahead and breach the door and take on the subject at that point. That was the decision. That was the thought process at that particular point in time.
Now, either this dude got cotton mouth. Either he's nervous as hell, so his mouth is dry, or he on cocaine.
That cocaine?
One of the two. Either he hit a line before he got in front of that camera, or he nervous as hell right now.
He on a 30-day challenge.
30-day cocaine.
What?
What can you tell parents that were here waiting and asking for the police to go in?
Hey, there was 19, like I said, there was 19 officers in there. In fact, there was plenty of officers to do whatever needed to be done, with one exception, is that the incident commander inside believed they needed more equipment and more officers to do a tactical breach at that point. That's why BORTAC was requested on the scene as soon as they were there. They executed a search, or at least a dynamic entry, and went in. And of course, that was not till 12. That was not till 12:56.
That's another excuse they used. They said they didn't go in because they were waiting on the tactical group to come. But now people are saying the tactical group showed up way earlier than they said they did. So even they didn't go in when they got the tactical people to come in. They still didn't go in.
This is supposed to be Texas. Y'all was supposed to be about that smoke.
Supposed to be gun shooting.
The
in the
wild,
air.
wild, wild west.
Yeah, wild, wild west.
So, with the benefit of hindsight, stand by, right? I got it. Okay. Hey, for the benefit of hindsight, where I'm sitting now, of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision. Period. There's no excuse for that. But again, I wasn't there, but I'm just telling you, from what we know, we believe there should have been an entry at that as soon as you can. Hey, when there's an active shooter, the rules change. It's no longer, okay, it's no longer a barricaded subject. You don't have time. You don't worry about outer perimeters. And by the way, Texas embraces active shooter training, active shooter certification, and that doctrine requires officers. We don't care what agency you're from. You don't have to have a leader on the scene. Every officer lines up, stacks up, goes and finds.
At the end there, he started just talking about what they should have done.
Oh, the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yeah, I mean, it should be obvious, but now this is the last clip. Listen to who he blames. Listen to who this dude blames for what happened. All right, this is the last one. Hold on.
Suspected of where we knew the shooter entered, Ramos, was propped open by a teacher. 11:28. The suspect vehicle crashes into the ditch, as previously described. The teacher runs to the room 132 to retrieve a phone, and that same teacher walks back to the exit door, and door remains propped open.
He blamed the teacher.
So he's saying that if the teacher would have never propped the door open,
he wouldn't have got in.
The shooter would have never gotten to the building.
Pretty much.
Hell, let's go with my theory. This is all a storyline for gun reform, and MK Ultra. To me, this dude got MK Ultra written all over him.
I haven't done any deep.
I haven't done any deep on it either, but this is crazy.
Now let me tell you why the officers didn't go in, and this is why they don't go in for a lot of scenarios. There was a fire in New York or something like that. I can't remember which one. And a person was trapped inside, and they didn't go help them until the fire department came. Firefighters, cops get the credit that firefighters should get. They actually go in, and they didn't go in either. And this is why. Legal definition of public duty doctrine. A doctrine in the tort law, a government entity or state or municipality cannot be held liable for the injuries of an individual resulting from a public officer's or employer's breach of duty owed to the public as a whole, as distinguished from a duty owed to the particular individual. Basically, I don't have to help you. So if it's a live shooter situation and I'm on the scene and you get shot, I can't be blamed for not helping you. I can't be held liable for not helping you.
So I'm allowed to basically protect myself from harm.
No. I guess you're supposed to. No, the officers, but yeah, the officer basically saying, I don't have to put myself in danger to protect you. But protect and serve.
They claim that they're out here
courage,
on the line of duty,
bravest, line of
risking their
duty.
life every day, and officers
thin blue
get treated
line.
like shit.
But they literally don't have to help you. They can just let you die if they want to.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord. All right. Now we're going to start going into this right here. The White House did not want to speak on the Texas shooting. White House sidesteps questions about police response to Texas school shooting. Why would you think Biden wouldn't want to talk about what the police did? Remember, Biden just told y'all, your states, all that COVID money left over,
to take it and
give
put
it
it
to the
towards
cops.
police officers.
So is he trying to build up some level of, I don't know, support from police officers right now?
He trying to get that conservative?
He's not getting that.
Well, he should know he ain't getting that.
Is he trying to get the conservative vote with this? Or not, sorry, but a little bit of police backing with this, because the quote unquote left wing has been pretty much treated like the anti-police group. You know what they call it? Defund the police. And now they're saying we didn't mean that.
We didn't mean defund the police.
we
want to fund we want to reform the police with these funds for better training.
Yeah.
That's the way they phrased it now.
Now, this is what Obama had to say after this Texas shooting. He said, as we grieve the children of Uvalde today, we should take time to recognize the 2 years have passed since the murder of George Floyd under the knee of a police officer. His killing stays with us all to this day, especially those who loved him.
So why wouldn't he talk about this last week with the Buffalo? He didn't say nothing about, he didn't mention black one time in his Twitter little comment that he made. But for some reason because this is mainly Hispanic
this
people
is Hispanic.
killed.
This is Mexican.
This is Hispanic on Hispanic crime. He throws George Floyd's name in the mix.
Exactly. And then right underneath it, in the aftermath of his murder, a new generation of activists rose up to channel their anguish in organized action, launching a movement to raise awareness of systematic racism and the need for criminal justice and police reform. What the hell does this have to do? Even now, see, we could be honest. When something happens to black people and they bring the need to talk about Jews and
this
gays,
should have been last week when he said this, made this comment.
Yeah, whenever something happened to black people and then they can bring up Jews, gays, and all this stuff, we say, what they got to do with that? I'm not speaking for Mexicans, but they can say the same thing about this. What does this have to do with George Floyd? What does it have to do with this?
They don't connect.
Exactly.
Because he's talking about criminal justice, police reform, systematic racism, lynching. That should have all been talked about with the Buffalo shooting last week.
But he ain't the only one. I've seen plenty of black celebrities
2 Chainz
who ain't say shit last week.
You don't got the tweet?
No. Kevin Hart, 2 Chainz.
What was Kevin Hart talking about?
He was talking about his show.
He talking about his show when
hold on, I'm not gonna say he tweeted about his show during the shooting or after the aftermath of it, but that's what he tweeted about that day. Might have been before it happened.
He was talking about his shows and stuff, and black people just got sprayed in a grocery store.
Well, he didn't. Maybe he just didn't respond to it on social media.
And then 2 Chainz,
he put out a picture of Mexican kids and saying,
but we couldn't find nothing that he put out about.
He didn't say nothing
Buffalo
about
shooting.
Buffalo.
It's almost like it's propaganda.
What do you mean?
It's almost like their agents. Oh, they call them up and say, "Hey, you gotta tweet out about this shooting. You gotta show some sort of remorse for this group." But when it's black, it's like they almost told to keep your mouth shut and don't say anything type of vibe. Well, why would you not want to speak out and say something about your particular community that has been harmed, opposed to? I mean, this don't have nothing to do with black people. You can feel sympathy for them if you want to, but this ain't got nothing to do with your community.
It doesn't. I don't know, man. They for whatever reason, maybe it's the kids part. Let's give them that.
Man, I don't give a damn.
Hours after Uvalde school shooting, Governor Greg Abbott attended a fundraiser 300 miles away. They really on his neck. What's the guy's name? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. What was that? 2 years ago, the Democratic nominations were going on, or 2.5 years ago. I thought, what's the guy's name from Texas? The dude trying to be Obama, the white guy.
I forget his name.
You might got it in the article. I forgot his name.
Isn't he running against him?
Yes, he's running. He's running against him. Jeez, I forgot his name. It's a blank. I don't know. But anyway, the guy who's now running against him, he made sure to come to the one of their I guess you say conferences or something like that, and bring up the shooting. And I'm like, is that in good taste? Why is it every time a shooting happen, y'all get a backbone? The same stuff you could be doing when the shooting isn't happening, you could do when it is happening. I'm sorry, when it's not happening. So I don't understand. Do you get his name?
I'm looking it up now.
All right, hold on. O'Rourke. Berto, that's funny, the name.
Berto O'Rourke.
Yeah, Berto O'Rourke. He made sure to come out and...
Well, what's wrong with him attending a fundraiser? That's a positive thing to attend.
But it's right after the shooting.
What was he supposed to do?
I mean, he is a governor. He's supposed to be a leader of the damn...
What was he supposed to do?
He's supposed to
after the shooting, what was he supposed to go and do?
To go to a fundraising event? To get money for his campaign?
I mean, the show must go on.
Oh, you just saying that because they Mexican.
You
saying that because bullshit. If you heard about the damn mayor of Buffalo after that shooting was going to a fundraising event, you would say, piece of shit, get him out of office.
Okay, what was he supposed to do? Go home and what?
He didn't go home.
Well, what was he supposed to do though?
Something
after
the
the
governor
shooting?
does. I don't know.
What does the governor do after a shooting? He's supposed to
respond to the people, the citizens.
But he did that. He responded to the people and gave his condolences for the people. What was he supposed to do after that?
Just being okay. We're gonna move on. Cause I already see what you're doing. You just don't care. You heartless, ain't you? Damn.
How could you be so heartless?
That was cold-hearted. By the way, let's listen to what somebody else with a cold heart had to say.
Oh,
we talk about our children. I know for this group,
Kamala Harris had some comments about
she got a cold heart.
Protecting children. Let's see what Kamala had to say about what's going on.
you know, when we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are a children of the community. And in that way, we should all feel a direct sense of responsibility.
What?
Kamala Harris should have kept her first job, which was an escort. That's what she should have kept her first job. Because she don't know what she's talking about if it ain't nothing in her mouth.
What's his name?
Being real.
Oh, God. You ain't worry about what's coming out. You worry about what's going.
We should worry about both when it comes to her.
Oh, Lord. All right. Now, remember, after the Buffalo shooting, people were asking for anti-black crime bill. Now, the closest thing they brought out was this. The domestic terrorism prevention bill. It got blocked. The Republicans blocked it. It wasn't even an anti-black crime bill. It was just...
They said it just smells like it's an anti-black crime bill.
It was created in the name of Buffalo. We can't even let it pass if it's in the name of them. So this didn't get through, and this was something that a lot of the people, when they asked the question, what are Democrats doing for black people? A lot of them would say, oh, they got a bill trying to go into office right now that's going to, help black people. It's not called the anti-black crime bill, but that's what it's for. And that shit got shut down.
It may not be called it, but it damn sure sounds like it to me.
Now, now remember, the dude who went out and shot in Buffalo, his manifesto was like 3/4 of it was blaming Jews. He even made the point that Jewish people were using black people as pawns against white people in America.
That's true.
It is.
The Jews are the Jews are the elite. Yeah, they're all your celebrities. Every single celebrity is a Jewish person. They're
the elite tribe of white people.
Yep.
So
and they have they use these other white tribes to make them go to war with people. They're just the peasants to them.
Yeah. So now he was blaming the Jews he was attacking black people to get to them.
Yeah.
To make a point against them.
The white people in this country don't have no power. It's the Jewish people that have the power.
90+% of white people in this country come from white trash.
You have to think, why are they giving so much money to Ukraine?
Because they got a plan.
What is the president of Ukraine? What is he? What's his? He's Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who run this?
And he's giving all type of this
40 billion, 120 million.
It's like
when niggas see that trillion.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Now look at this. House passes measure condemning anti-Semitism. One GOP lawmaker votes no. So
what anti-Semitism?
So after that shooting, he talked about them, and they got a bill.
But he went and actually acted out on black
he did
American people.
To niggas didn't get nothing done.
No.
He just talked. They went in this building and said, "Oh, we see a rise in anti-Semitism in the country. This something has to be done." What rise? I don't know.
And one person voted against it.
One. And that's by the way, that's GOP and Democrat. That's both sides. Only one person voted against it.
But you know, some of the Republicans, they didn't even vote. They didn't even have a vote for it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to vote for it, but because they know that the Jewish people be like, they be looking at them, they're like, I'm not even going to vote.
So yeah, they just did a no comment.
Like, I don't want to vote for it, so I'm just not going to cast any vote for it.
Like I said, I remember when there was a bill, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Can't remember when Biden first got in office, he signed a bill for anti-Semitism. But in the bill, they included black, Hispanic, gay. They included all this stuff. And the Jewish people were angry. Like, no, this is our bill. This is not something that they have to deal with. Anti-Semitism is exclusive to us. This is why I say we have to get rid of the word racism, as people are doing now, and call it anti-blackness. Anti-black hate is what they call it. The same way you got anti-Asian. They didn't call it racism.
They said anti-Asian. They followed behind the Jewish. Anti-Semitic, anti-Asian.
This is the bill here that they passed, condemning the rising anti-Semitism. And you just go, man, they got this shit on the ball, don't they? It gets done. And no questions. It gets done every time.
But HR 40 bill still ain't
going
nowhere.
Study that.
What, the lynching bill, how many years later?
They finally did get it.
I think they finally got it through.
Okay, I should have go. I don't think if they passed it through the Senate yet, but maybe they did.
I don't know if it's actually but we know that it went a level above what it had not been.
Yeah. Now another thing that happened that he tried to do, Biden signs police reform executive order on anniversary of George Floyd's.
You know what? They've been milking George Floyd
for 2 years now.
For 2 years.
Yes, made millions. Black Lives Matter made like $90 million off of them.
Milking George Floyd.
They won a couple seats in political offices. They might have won the presidency through it. Like, they've been milking this dude's name.
That was the summer of hell. And when this abortion shit hit this summer,
that's why Biden's saying get the money to the cops now.
You're gonna see these women out here with their little cat hats on,
especially
going to town.
In Seattle. Oh my God, they love protesting up here, like you said.
I can already imagine the graffiti that they're gonna have.
It's gonna be pretty vulgar. Yeah.
They're gonna have vaginas, everything. They're gonna have it all spray painted on fucking.
They're gonna be walking around.
Businesses.
They're gonna be walking around in those Handmaid's outfits. Remember that show Handmaid's? It's called Handmaid's Tale or something like that.
Yeah.
Where they wearing the red with the white. They all gonna walk around. They're gonna be so dramatic. Now, when you look at this bill,
and I'm gonna say, get the hell out of my way.
When you look at this bill, it's not at all a police reform. It says the order will create a national registry for officers fired for misconduct. They already got that. We already can find a list of complaints against an officer and stuff. We already know this.
Some people don't.
And encourage state and local police to tighten restrictions on chokeholds and no-knock warrants. They're already doing that.
Well, they doing it in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. Maybe they're not doing it nationwide. They're just doing it in that particular state.
The chokehold order. Remember that? Who was that got choked out?
The no-knock was that was in Minnesota.
There was another guy who not the guy who got choked in New York. There's another guy who got choked. They already started doing that. Even with George Floyd, they said the knee thing is not happening no more. Chokehold. Oh, New York.
Well, where did they get the knee thing from?
George Floyd.
But where did officers get trained to do the knee thing?
Exactly.
The tiny hats. The Jewish. That's how they do it over there.
That is a fact. Officers were trained to put their knee on the neck of people by the IDF.
And they also went and trained white South Africans too, didn't they?
The IDF also went and trained South Africans who were getting kicked out of the country by it's sad to say black South Africans. It's just South Africans, but you got to say black South Africans.
Well, that's what happens when you have all these different cultures living under.
Unless you call them South African and call the white ones South Afrikaans. That's really what
that's what they call themselves.
Afrikaans. So yeah. But yeah, this is bullshit.
Because they cons.
The entire thing is literally just he signed a bill so that you'll know who got fired for misconduct. We already know that. That's already a thing that exists. Maybe make it more public for every state and city.
Look at Joe.
And then no knock warrants. That's already been something that's scrutinized, and chokeholds. Now he cannot control local police forces. He can't do that. So I don't even know. This is just theatrics at this point. It's not going to do anything.
To make them feel like they're doing something. Like, was it Narc or Cobra told the president he should have the was he speed up the what bill was it? Was it a HR 40 or something by Juneteenth?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Theatrics. That's what our black leaders do for us.
Yeah. All right. Another thing that Biden is doing in honor of Asian Heritage Month, or something they call it. BTS meets with Biden at the White House. Now, BTS is a K-pop group. You know, K-pop is just stolen R&B, 90s R&B.
So these other groups of people get called heritage.
Yeah, native. Yeah,
there's
Asian
a
heritage.
Mexican. I think there's a Mexican Heritage Month.
Yeah.
I think that's in
I think
October.
it's all Latino heritage. I think
it's whatever. They all the same.
I don't know. Yeah.
At work, I don't know what that shit is. I be like, I don't know what it is. So, but
Native
black people
American
get Black
heritage.
History.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a heritage and a history month?
Culture.
Exactly.
When they say heritage, they're saying you have a culture.
You have a culture for
Yeah.
black people. Oh, you've had some history in
You
this
got some
country.
history here.
You've done this, but
Is
you have no culture.
But is that a way of them saying that they believe your history is American?
We could put it that way, if you want to be nice about it.
Yeah. So BTS, when they talk about meeting with Biden, and it's like,
But let's talk about these thieves. What is a K-pop, first of all?
It's basically, from what I know, I haven't listened to any of it. What they say is basically R&B.
You know what they sound? You know what they sound like?
What?
They sound like NSYNC.
Yeah.
Which is a watered down R&B, no singing, no having talent group.
It's like a poppy R&B sound. Yeah.
So they take R&B and make it more.
Pop.
Well, they can't make it R&B because they ain't got the soul to do it.
Soul people,
But they call it K-pop.
Even though it's funny because they actually have Koreans are known. It's so crazy. Koreans are known for, what's the word?
They're known for blackface too.
They have, remember in the country, they had a store designated to African American culture.
Yeah.
They have a store over there where you go into the store and they literally sell everything Black Americans wear. Everything.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
It's like a costume. It's like a costume store for Black Americans. You just come there to act like and look. Matter of fact, they even call their restaurant Soul. You know, matter of fact, I think it was a Korean woman that was trying to work with Malcolm X. Remember the Malcolm X? When a woman came up to him and said, "I was so in love with him. I know he was black, but I wanted to be a part of that movement. Not in love with him, as in love with him. I meant she wanted to be, basically she wanted to be black."
Because she was so inspired.
But so she took what he was saying and stuff and turned it into an Asian thing, Asian pride.
You would think, damn, y'all get off on a group struggling and just trying to get some independence.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when you talk about that idea of them copying that, they also copied the Black Panthers, literal Black Panthers. They didn't call themselves something else. You had it in Asia, Middle Eastern countries, South American countries. They would call themselves Black Panthers. Like they were, trying to be part of that.
When that California group called themselves Asians with Attitude.
Oh yeah, they got mad at us. They got real mad. They got mad at us, yo. So obviously, it said on Tuesday, May 31st, global K-pop phenomenon and Grammy-nominated musical group from the Republic of Korea, BTS, will join President Biden to discuss Asian inclusion and representation and to address anti-Asian hate crimes and discrimination, which have become more prominent issue in recent years.
Ain't they from China?
Who?
Are they from Korea?
Korea.
Okay.
Which is, they'll say that they're different. If you call a Korean a Chinese person or a Japanese, they'll get mad. But they know in an American context, we're all Asian. But they wanted to disaggregate their data as well. Because they're saying, all Asians aren't doing well in this country. You know, Asians in this country are seen as the most wealthiest demographic as far as yearly income. They even higher than white people now. So the Asians were like, we need to separate this data amongst Asians because not all of us are doing well. Some of us come here as immigrants and we broke.
Yeah.
You know, so they got what they wanted. President Biden has previously spoke about his commitment to combating the surge of anti-Asian hate crimes and signed into law COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act in May 2021 to provide law enforcement resources to identify, investigate, and report hate crimes and ensure that hate crimes information is more accessible to AA and NHPI communities. President Biden and BTS will also discuss the importance of diversity and inclusion in BTS platform as youth ambassadors who spread a message of hope and positivity across the world. Additional details to follow. Now, remember when they started using TikTokers to spread their ideas on various topics, whether it be COVID, Ukraine, Russia. They started using TikTok influencers. When I saw them say that they are being used as youth ambassadors, I said, is BTS a controlled group?
Like the CIA? I think they are.
Because let me tell you something.
Because when I first saw this and it said that they were going to go meet with the President Biden, I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, when this group or this K-pop thing, it just came onto the scene and just whoosh. It's very, very popular.
And it's niggas that like it.
That's what I'm about to get to. It's niggas. It's a lot of black people that like K-pop.
Particularly?
No, I can't say particularly.
Particularly black women that like it.
No, I can't say that. I've seen plenty of black dudes that like K-pop.
And they be singing it?
Well, I don't see none of them singing it. But when you see them on any type of social media platform, they always got an Asian person as their Abby. They always got some type of anime or something.
Well, do you think they like it because they know that it's coming from 90s R&B? And they've heard the tune before?
I'm pretty sure I heard some. I remember reading it saying that a lot of black people are going over there to be their choreographers and all this stuff.
They love giving away their stuff. Just give it away.
Yeah, they do. So yeah, I mean, I'm wondering, is this group and how fast they grew? They're very popular across the
globe.
I wouldn't even say I don't know about Africa and South America and stuff, but I know in Europe, Asia,
I'm about to say they're very popular.
Very popular. Are they a controlled asset group?
I would say yes.
And those people they sending over there, are they actually handlers?
Probably so.
Supreme Court hobbles challenges by inmates based on poor legal representation. This is during all this stuff that's going on. They have now made it where if you are found guilty of a crime that you didn't do, and you have proof of it years later, but your legal representation was just terrible, you can't challenge it. You just got to stay in there. So literal innocent people cannot get out.
Are we shocked?
Oh, man. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday that the state prisons have no constitutional right to present new evidence in federal courts to support their claim that they were represented at a trial and on appeal in state courts by unqualified or otherwise deficient lawyers. The vote was 6-3 along ideological lines. In 2012, the court ruled that when a state court substantially interferes with a defendant's constitutional right to be represented by counsel, the defendant with a new lawyer may appeal to federal court to show that he was denied his right to effective counsel. Back then, the majority was 7-2, with Justice Clarence Thomas in the dissent. On Monday, Thomas wrote the majority decision hollowing out the 2012 ruling on behalf of the court's new 6-justice conservative supermajority. He said that federal courts may not hear new evidence obtained after conviction is show how deficient the trial or appellate lawyer in state court was. To allow such evidence to be presented in federal court, he said, encourages prisoners to send back state courts, depriving the states of the finality that is essential to both the reputative and deterrent function of criminal law.
So they can't present new evidence?
No.
So that's like that black dude.
So you're right. So no, I guess he's saying they can't bring the evidence to the to a higher court, I guess. Maybe that's what he's saying. Because he's saying that lower courts need to have, basically saying the lower courts need to have the ability to have the finality of the decision. If you make it where the local court can find you guilty, and you can just say, "Oh, my representation was bad. I got new evidence," and just go to a higher court and get found out guilty. It's like, what's the point? You're making it where the lower court is useless now.
Well, they kind of are useless in some sense.
Yeah. Hold on. All right. So, man. So, as you about to say, I'm looking at cases like the case where the two girls lied on the black man.
The two white women lied on the black man when they younger, talking about he raped him, and he had all this evidence.
If he would do that now.
Is that the reason why they're doing all of this now?
People are getting out
because all these black men are getting out because they've been falsely accused of doing things, and they need them to stay in prison to keep being a slave and working for free labor.
Almost every year, every month, almost somebody getting out after doing 30 years, 40 years, found out they was innocent. There was no proof. So I don't know, man.
Is it showing how flawed the justice system is?
It's pretty bad.
Okay,
and it happens so often it makes them look real pathetic. Now look at this. I'm not a Fox News guy.
I watch them.
I don't. I'd rather watch what's the other name?
I'm not saying I watch them religiously. It's just sometimes you need to hear you told me to hear a different perspective sometimes.
I said I don't listen to him. I tell you not listen to him. Ex-Fox News reporter calls out Tucker Carlson and says White House needs to confront social media to stop disinformation online, with violators sent to jail or something else. Where are we going? Well, you have people coming out publicly saying, if you're saying certain things that doesn't go along with what the mainstream media says is right,
do you need to be silenced?
They ain't just saying silence.
I'm saying at first it was silence. Now it's going to.
Yeah, first it was get you off social media.
We need to tuck you away. You need to.
Now it's saying jail, and then he says something worse.
Guillotines?
Like, damn.
Lynch?
So it's not enough.
What they want to do?
It's not enough to threaten somebody with jail. You need to have the option to make them disappear, I guess. So let me show this. Hold on.
Do you think the Murdoch family in charge of Fox will ever pull the plug on Tucker? What do you think?
There is a point that to put up with the help. In this particular case, Tucker has been screaming fire in a crowded movie house for years. And that cliche really comes to the matter of what is free speech. And the fact of the matter is,
I saw a video from Australia where a woman says that free speech needs to be reimagined.
I'm supposed to imagine that I have.
She's saying it needs to be reimagined, as in we need to redefine what free speech is. What happened to they call themselves the West, even though Australia is way east, but they still call West because West means white. We know that. What happened to the West being the place of freedom?
It's no longer freedom anymore.
This is what they used to tout. We're the freest nations. Are you?
No, they want you to shut up. Be quiet.
This person said free speech needs to be reimagined. This is some double speak like crazy.
She want me to. She telling me that free speech to be the reimagined. So I'm supposed to have the illusion that I have free speech, but I don't have.
Well, you know,
free speech.
It's just like with that book 1984 that everybody bring up.
Oh, the Ministry of Truth. They got rid of that.
Now
it's too soon.
Now I think it's funny you brought it up. When we act like the backlash made them get rid of that, but is that really what it is, or do they have something bigger?
They always have something bigger.
And we're going to talk about it later in this. They have something way bigger than that. That's going to be way more devastating. They just did this to test it out. How you going to feel about this? They get it out the way. So now you already think it's gone now.
It's not
so when
gone.
they bring this new thing, you're not going to think it's the same thing.
If you disturb the peace by starting a riot in a movie theater, cops are going to arrest you and you might end up in jail or you might end up in something worse. And that kind of stuff absolutely has to stop. And Orban is a classic sort of an autocratic fascist. And people like Tucker Carlson are participating in spreading that in the United States. There is no place for it. It has to be stopped. The idea of replacement theory is ridiculous. It's a made-up thing. And the fact that there are changes in our demography has always been positive in this country. There was a time when Italians were being racially threatened and damaged just because they were Italians or they were Catholics. That stopped. The same has to stop for Latinos. The same has to stop for Asians and Black Americans.
Black American, I told you this a month ago. Black American used to be first. Mm-hmm. Now they say it last. They either start off with Asian or Hispanic, and then they lead into the alphabet, and then they say Black American.
Well, they couldn't go into the alphabet because of, I think this guy, if I'm not mistaken, this guy was a former commentator on Fox.
Now you tell me how we get mentioned last. How can he even reference Italian people when Black Americans are still being harmed to this day?
I think he went on to say that. Hold on.
It has been far too long that this country has been letting this go. And now that Republicans, led by Trump for the last few years, are trying to say that that's American politics, it absolutely isn't. And those who pretend to do this are hurting the Constitution and hurting our country. And they're going to pay for it sooner or later.
Do you think?
So how are they going to pay for it? Well, we saw, as I was talking about Australia earlier, we saw that they had already built camps and you couldn't leave. You'd be brought in and you couldn't leave.
Oh, they got a lot of camps built here too, ready to go when
We
it's time.
used to say
out.
We used to say it was Walmart. The Walmart building's gonna be used for FEMA camps, but now they shut down Walmarts and you got Amazon.
Well, they shut down the Walmarts and they're just empty spaces.
A lot of them are turning into Amazon stores or other stores.
That's the damn place. Amazon buying up. Well, hell, if you work at Amazon, you already is a damn slave, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Can't even go to the bathroom and take a piss.
Well, I don't know if they're still there because they got so much attention on that story. That one story of people having to use the bathroom in a bottle because they don't want to risk being late for the.
Well, you know, that's why, you know, sometimes it'll give you the option. It'll say today by 10, tomorrow or Monday. I say tomorrow because I don't want somebody like, oh my, today I gotta go, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna show this right here. This guy here, I saw this on social media. He talked about the Buffalo shooting. He said, my mother shared with me earlier that the Buffalo shooter had scoped out her church and was checking the doors at it before hitting the supermarket. If you're in charge of a church, particularly a large one, take precautions.
So he might have did a Dylan Roof and did another church shooting.
How many churches you think around the country got guns? Black churches?
I would say, I don't know any church I've been to or I know that they have weapons on the.
Okay, all the churches we know and where we grew up. Do you think any of them have guns?
No, and I don't think any of them got guns after what happened with the Dylan Roof situation. There's one pastor online that we know for sure that got guns. That's Pastor Stephen Darby.
Oh, yeah.
He said he keep a piece. His wife got a piece in the purse, and some of his congregation got pieces out there.
Running there you want to. So that goes into this right here, the Buffalo shooting. Now, shout out to George. He sent the story, but I had already found the article before he sent the news clip. I'm going to show you the news clip of it as well. One of the people that was shot in Buffalo, we know he was an ex-cop. The ex-cop killed by Buffalo shooter had just invented water-powered engine.
Wouldn't that be more healthier for the environment?
They said they care about that. Now, keep in mind, there was a guy in the 90s, like he was Caucasian, who invented a water-powered engine, and he was killed. Apparently, he was poisoned at a restaurant or something like that.
So you would have to ask the question: what is a coincidence that two people that have created something to substitute water with oil, they've just, they've happened to die? Seems like they want to keep using oil so they can keep, I guess, making money.
But they tell you they care about the environment.
Wouldn't that be so much better having water instead of gas polluting the skies and the air? Wouldn't that be better?
Now remember, people forget they had water-powered vehicles all the way back in the early 1900s. This is not new. The problem is a lot of the times people will get pretty much bought out pretty much and not allowed to go further with it. So hold on, let me just get this video ready. Hold on. You had they had vehicles running on all type electric vehicles.
Aaron Salter Jr. wore many hats.
They already had electric vehicles back then, but so it's funny how they're trying to push Elon Musk as this great thinker creating electric vehicles. They had them all the way back in the early 1900s. They just got rid of it. But yeah, let me show this.
Aaron Salter Jr. wore many hats in his life: retired police officer, substitute teacher, but one of his true passions was science. he built a lab in his garage where he spent countless hours working to develop an engine that could run on water.
It's not running off of gas fumes? No, there's no gas fumes. There's no gas fumes.
Sadly, for all he was in life, the world is learning his story because of the courage he displayed doing his job, protecting his community.
You know, they say he found a way to power F-150 with water. So every time somebody come up with this, I think they said I think he did it in like 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So for all those people that believe it, they actually care about environment and green energy.
AOC.
Now, I'm not saying that they did a whole shooting.
The president cares about the environment. Remember, he wanted to get rid of the coal mines and. Yeah.
Now I want y'all to show y'all this, since I'm talking about Buffalo right now, right? Let me show you this. At the same time as the shooting in Buffalo, 15 minutes apart, which is it happened at the same time pretty much. A plane got in a plane crash at a near airport. Emergency services barred from entry at a Buffalo Lancaster regional airport after plane accident. So a plane crashed, and when the services tried to come in, they blocked them from coming in. So the first question you ask is, who can turn away services? Fire department. Who has the power to turn that away? It was private property, but when something's on fire or burning or something,
You're supposed to go in and do their job.
They have to do the job. So who has the power to say,
no.
stay back? So they didn't allow them to go in. So I'm gonna show you this right here. Now, this is the flight log, the past flights on this airport, at this airport. As you can see, it's short flights. The one that I'm talking about right now is the top one. It was a 3-minute flight. It went in. They told us that it didn't even get a chance to take off. It just somehow flipped on the runway. We know now that's a lie because it says here the duration was 3 minutes. Now watch this right here. Hold on. Now this is the path it took. So it took off, and then it turned around
and then crashed.
And then crashed. Okay. Let me try to go forward in this. This is the actual plane. This is what the services people was taking the picture to show it. Now look at this. It says, now this is the report. It says that the aircraft was substantially damaged. So why didn't they allow the services to come on and help? We saw it was 2 cars out there, so it was people out there.
Anybody died or?
They didn't say nothing. They didn't tell you if anybody died, anybody injured, nothing. Now we see the people right there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's definitely connected, but what are the same time this is happening, and this strange coincidence and how they wouldn't allow them to get in, the shooting was happening. Is it possible the shooter that they caught ain't the real shooter?
You saying the shooter was on the plane?
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
Even locally, it's a big story locally. They're asking for an investigation. Why wouldn't they allow to go help? What's going on?
And they don't want to follow up with it?
Nothing.
It's kind of crazy.
So I'm just saying, it's a little strange story that I saw.
Make your conspiracy.
Meet the conspiracy quota. All right. Hold on.
That's your boy. Everybody know it. Everybody know it. Every time I see Eric Adams, I'ma say that is your boy. So he got your vote, right?
No.
If he run for 2024?
No. All the shit he done, no. Now, he was never my boy. Please stop saying
that was your boy. He is your boy.
Eric Adams eyeing White House run in 2024. Are you surprised? Number one.
No. I'm not surprised because I think he can get that conservative audience because that's why he's been doing he wanted to bring back the whole stop and frisk thing. He know that's going to be like, oh, wow, he is for the police. He is a former police officer.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's got that in the bag.
I think he probably is going to try to go for the moderate vote. We know he's a pro marijuana guy. He tried to throw weed on top of low income housing.
We need to follow up on that and see where that's going to.
The same.
So does that mean he got the niggas vote because he wants to put weed on top of the?
I'm gonna put weed on top of your apartment building because that's
affordable housing,
and that's what I've been sending you to jail for the same thing. But now I'm gonna let you grow it on the roof, and it's gonna be government control, so it's not like you're gonna be walk up there and just grab some. It's still gonna have to go through.
But you know how tempted niggas gonna be to just go up on top of the roof.
No, they're gonna want their tax money.
Yeah.
So, but another story I got from that's not even the story. I found this little story right here, and I found it funny because him now coming out saying that he wants to run for president. It kind of goes along with the story right here. The strange case of the mayor, a bishop, and an alleged Q train shooter.
His name was Q.
No, it was a Q train.
Oh, okay.
Remember that shooting that happened?
Yeah. That was the letter that was on the train.
Yeah. Andrew Abdullah, the man charged in the shooting death of Daniel Enriquez, evaded police for 48 hours before he was taken to custody on Tuesday afternoon. The circumstances around the arrest, which reportedly involved a failed negotiation between Rolls-Royce driving, media-savvy bishop and his apparent friend, the mayor, couldn't be stranger. After the shooting on the northbound Q train on Sunday, Abdullah left the Cardinal Street station and allegedly abandoned his handgun and took off his sweatshirt. He then walked around Lower Manhattan, avoiding arrest by the transit officers who stopped and questioned him, took down his name, and sent him on his way. At some point, Abdullah also made contact with his family, who reportedly tried to find him help. This is where Lamar Whitehead, Bishop of Leaders of Tomorrow International Church, says he comes in. Whitehead, a Brooklyn pastor who once was convicted of a fraudulent auto loan scheme, claimed to the New York Post that he had a close relationship with Abdullah's family, whom he says was among his congregants, and that he tried to broker the surrender. According to Whitehead, Abdullah's aunt and mom called him on a Tuesday morning and asked him for advice. Whitehead said he told the family that Abdullah needed to turn himself in. The family, again, according to Whitehead's account, agreed, but first wanted to consult legal aid's office in Manhattan. Whitehead says he then called Eric Adams, to whom he has ties, and the mayor said he would support me in whatever had to happen for this young man to surrender. He trusted that what I put into place. Whitehead then went on to meet the family at legal aid's office, intending to take Abdullah to the 5th precinct and hand him over to the mayor. Now listen to this part.
Hand him over to the mayor.
To the police, hand him over to the mayor. Yeah. Instead, before he could surrender, Abdullah was arrested outside of legal aid by the city marshals. Legal aid told Bloomberg that this was inappropriate and that they had been in negotiation with the police over Abdullah's surrender. He was needlessly ambushed out front of our Manhattan trial office by law enforcement, denied of his opportunity to first consult with counsel, a legal aid spokesperson said. A legal aid lawyer also disputed Whitehead's account of events, telling the Post that Whitehead had no affiliation with the family. He has no affiliation with the legal team, and that the statements he made claiming on behalf of the family are untrue. One police source who spoke in the New York Daily News suggested that Whitehead was attempting to engineer a high-profile handoff and had been keeping an eye on the media presence, waiting for a bigger crowd to arrive. The Daily News reported that Eric Adams was apparently game for the good show. The mayor was in the area and was willing to participate if that's what if that's what it took. One police source told the paper, but the other NYPD sources were reportedly annoyed at Adams, saying that his participation would set a precedent for future surrender stunts. Why is the mayor getting involved in law enforcement? He is not law enforcement anymore, a former detective told the Daily News.
Because he still got that itch in him.
He's trying to get some He was trying to get some publicity from this
for his
potential run.
For
Look at me. I was able to convince this man to surrender, and me, the mayor, I brought him to the police front door. I did. Look how good I am.
Well, look how bad you are, because y'all got caught.
Well, then the cops just kind of said, well, whatever to that, and took it on their own terms, and they was mad with him. Trying to take those people glory. Let's talk about another candidate. And
so I'm not.
Let's talk about another candidate. Stacey Abrams is running, obviously, again in Georgia, and people are comparing her to another candidate.
I'm not always going to only talk about what we can do for black people.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
She loved moving her head.
So now Stacey Abrams went on the 85 South show, which I was kind of surprised. I was surprised she went on there. So I'm looking at 85 South show like,
yeah,
maybe it was just an interview. I'm gonna go look at the whole interview. I did see some longer extended clips, but he asked some questions, some real questions, but I was like, the fact that they trust you enough.
Oh, she said that on 85.
Yeah.
That she's just not gonna do anything for black people.
Yeah. I'm gonna search some more too. The fact that her and her campaign trusted the 85 South show enough to come on the platform.
I mean, they're gonna go ahead her as hard as they could.
Yeah, it means that they were gonna not really. They're gonna pull some punches.
Soft shoehorn it.
I wouldn't say they're soft shoe. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing yet, but I did find it like they are. When you running for office, you have to be very particular on who you trust to do interviews with, especially sit down interviews, because they can
in this
actually
day and age.
Yeah, back then it was more.
Back then, you can get
smoked.
You had to just roll with the line.
You had to know how. You had to have wit. You had to be quick on.
They don't have that no more. So
I don't know. I'm just saying. Typically, they're very cautious with who they sit down with. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me show you this next clip. This was this is a clip where she was kind of expounding on why she believes what she just said.
It gets worse.
It's a pretty quick clip. Hold on. All right.
Because in the math, it's hard to win an election with just black people.
Right, but the thing is,
hold on, let me ask you. What's your one political opinion that you think black people disagree with the most? Your most controversial opinion?
Well, a couple of days ago, I got in trouble because I don't know the difference between drums and flats because I don't eat chicken wings. But
what?
No, she didn't. Well, first of all, you a black woman. You supposed to like flats.
You know the damn flat. You know the damn chicken wing. First off, you know what a damn chicken wing is. Let's not even play that game.
Well, her body says she knows what a chicken wing is.
I knew you gonna swing. I knew you couldn't hold that one. So we talked about this with Jim Clyburn, and you called this man a coon because he had a fish fry. Is she a coon for bringing up chicken?
I think, yeah, she is. She tried to use chicken as a way to relate to black people.
When she said that, he asked her for her most controversial.
That's not her most controversial thing that black people have to deal with. The most controversial thing she's done, she said, or she don't know is, she don't eat chicken wings because she don't know the difference, and she don't know the difference between a flat and a drum.
I think it was pretty controversial when she took $1 million from Bloomberg.
That was and black people was talking about that shit.
I think that was pretty controversial.
But no, it was a chicken situation with black people that was controversial with them.
Niggas,
we love chicken.
I don't understand. Chicken is good. Why is the
chicken is a universal thing that everybody like?
Why is chicken connected to Negroes? I don't get it. Only in America. Why is chicken is good?
What do most Indian people eat? What? Chicken
most
curry.
People, when you talk about eating meat, it's one of the most popular meats is chicken. Like I don't.
It's one of the most affordable pieces of meat. That's why it's a very popular piece of meat as well.
I don't know. Let me show this. Now this right here, Juneteenth is on the way. We knew what was going to happen. We knew that we were going to see a bunch of commercials and a lot of these corporations are going to get in on that money.
Just like Memorial Day.
Yes, they're going to treat it. Yeah, Memorial Day was started by black soldiers who wanted to show love for the men who fall and the black men who fall and fail.
And they buried them.
And buried them. And then next thing you know, they started doing it. They just took Memorial Day, just took it.
Still take everything.
So now they're commercializing Juneteenth.
Over dessert, Walmart is apologizing for selling Juneteenth ice cream. It sparked backlash with many people on social media. They were angry over the fact that the store was trying to profit from a holiday meant to memorialize the end of slavery, and the packaging was decorated in Pan-African colors, which are not associated with the day. Walmart removed the ice cream from its stores.
Wow, Walmart removed it. Now,
Pan-Africans ain't got nothing to do with Juneteenth.
Now, it's funny that I think he's Hispanic or something, ain't he?
And that's great value.
So he Hispanic or something. He was like, this ain't got nothing to do with Pan-African. And that's what this person right here said, Movie Monster, Eddie West. Even my local TV news know the difference between Eddie West FBA and Pan-African. He was like, this ain't got shit to do with this.
Wait, they had Dr. Umar Johnson on the thing?
No, this is Dr. Umar Johnson on. He responded to this.
Oh, he put his picture on that?
Yeah, well, somebody, whenever he say something, people will take his picture and put it on there and put what he said on Instagram on the picture. So he said, I just told you last year that the President Biden federalized Juneteenth so they could weaken it, exploit it, commercialize it, and ultimately destroy its relevance. For the first time in history, most Juneteenth celebrations throughout the country are being financed by white corporations. Yep. Very few independent grassroots Juneteenth celebrations are left. Corporate America is now slapping the word Juneteenth on everything they sell in order to turn a dollar. Black History Month, Kwanzaa, and Dr. MLK Day have largely lost their power as a result of going mainstream. When will we ever learn to keep our culture, holidays holy, sacred, and to ourselves?
Interesting you say holy.
Yeah. But he's right. I mean, we all saw it. The second Biden did it, it was just like, uh-oh. Because it's a day off, and people going to say, oh, now, remember, it first started with are you going to celebrate 4th of July or Juneteenth? That's how it first started. That's how niggas started the conversation. Oh, I ain't celebrating 4th of July no more. That's just a day off now. It's going to be Juneteenth. Well, we know that's not true. Niggas going to celebrate
do
both
every
days.
one they can do. If they can get it off, they're going to get it off.
They can celebrate both of them. Now, look at this.
This is in Illinois.
Juneteenth celebration. This is crazy. Look at this little thing down here. Proceeds will benefit sister cities projects in Cape Coast, Ghana, West Africa, and I don't even know how to say that, Zacatecas, Mexico.
What they got to do with Black Americans?
Okay, how do you host a event based off of Juneteenth that is for
American
Black American Texans? That's who it's mainly for. How do you turn that into a West African Mexico benefit? Go ahead. Oh, and by the way, before you go, they then changed it to proceeds will be used to cover the cost of this event.
But what proceeds are they making? Because when you go to the website, it says that it's free admission. You get in for free.
Maybe they changed it.
No, it's still there.
So maybe they changed the pricing. Maybe they just made it free now.
Oh, after she did that.
I don't know. Now, what did you find out about this?
Well, as you can see where it says email.
Yeah.
That's Catherine
Perez.
Now, does that sound like a Black American to you?
It's not. Oh. Yeah.
And not only that, if you go to the government.
Hold on.
Sorry, not the government. Is it the government or our community?
Our community?
No, go to government. It got to be government.
Where's that?
That's weird because it was popping up earlier. It shows the trustees.
Lobbying associate firms.
Hold on.
President and board trustees right here.
Yeah, go there. There you go.
So
now she's not Black American. Clearly, we could tell by her name.
Her name is Bankroll or Banco.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's Herb Porter.
And it's a shame. You don't even know it him.
So wait, these are the people that run.
These are the people that run the board.
Rodney S. Craig, village president, and Christy.
He's the president, by the way.
Wow. So these are the people that's running this event.
Yeah. Now they have other events too. They have events coming up. Click on the events. And now when I went to some of the you know how I had email?
Yeah.
There's all sorts of different people that they assign this to. So why would they assign a Hispanic woman to Juneteenth?
You got MLK Build-Up Day, Memorial Day observance.
Matter of fact, for summer events, they don't even have the Juneteenth thing on there, but it's on the website.
I know I saw someone say that they called and the voicemail was a Hispanic.
Her name was Catherine Perez. And they have different people assigned to different things.
That's crazy.
And some people say, well, why does it matter who they assign? it matters who you assign an event
you would want
to.
the person who's running an event to have a cultural tie to the event
because they're gonna run it properly.
I don't know about properly because nowadays.
I mean, who doing the food? That's the first thing we gotta ask.
There you go.
I mean, are we gonna have soul food? Or are we gonna have burritos and stuff there?
All
It's
right.
Juneteenth.
The baby says he had to pay the whole airport to leave.
I told you, Nigerians is a bunch of damn scammers. All they do is extort people. Now that's you know what? They always complaining about celebrities not going to your country. This is why celebrities don't go to your country, because when they get to your country, you extorting the hell out of them.
Well, hold on. Let's see what he said. The baby claims he was basically extorted out of money as he tried to leave Nigeria after shooting a video in the country with DeVito. The baby might be a big dog in the United States, but he found out quickly during a visit to Africa that he has to pay like he weighs. The chart typing North Carolinian reportedly had to pay the whole airport to leave Nigeria during a recent visit. The artist took to Instagram to show people him in first class and wrote a brief statement about how folks in the country put the squeeze on him when he was trying to exit the nation. After recording a music video with Afrobeats megastar DeVito.
Afrobeats megastar.
The video was shared on video was saved and shared on Twitter. The baby revealed it was the Nigerian airport officials who extorted him. He wrote, "Boy, I had to pay the whole airport to make this flight." While he was in the motherland, he seemed to be right at home. DeVito escorted him around and even took him to the hood, where he was more than welcome. The two rocked out in Lagos, according to Legit. The video they shot was filmed in rural but crowded part of the city. Nigerians were just as excited to see him there, despite the expensive harassment during his departure. The airport experience certainly did not change his opinion of his visit to Africa.
Well, first of all, he didn't take you no hood. He took you to a slum.
Damn.
That's where he took you to. How in the hell? Why do y'all have to copy everything? You don't. They know they don't call it no fucking hood there.
No, hold on. How you know he called it a hood? The person who wrote it might have called it a hood.
Okay. Well, maybe you're right.
See, you just jumped.
Because they probably would have called it what it was, which is a slum.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
What's the difference?
Well, at least in the hood, you don't even gotta pay your bill. You can go out to the light pole and hook that shit back up.
Exactly.
In a slum, you hope the lights come on. You hope the water runs.
Why are we swinging on Nigeria?
I mean, people say, well, your water in Flint is contaminated. It's probably still safer to drink than the water you have, though. The contaminated water in Flint is probably safer to drink than the water they have in Nigeria.
Is that a bragging point?
It's not a bragging point. It's just the truth.
What's the point of the truth?
The point of truth is to tell the truth.
I'm saying, what are you saying this for?
I'm just saying it to say it.
So you just talking shit?
Pretty much.
Okay. CDC officials sound alarm for gay and bisexual men as monkeypox spread in community. No, when I read this, they're saying that monkeypox doesn't spread airborne, that it has to be through physical. So you have to be up on somebody, sneeze directly in somebody's face.
Exactly.
But they're also saying sexually, because I was just a physical act.
So this reminds me of
HIV,
which goes back to Mr. Doctor who?
Fauci.
Dr. Fauci. So does Dr. Fauci have ties to monkeypox?
Well, when I show you this right here, this next, you might assume you do. Hold on. The hell? Oh. Now, okay, before COVID-19 hit, there was a simulation done about SARS and the expectation for what could happen if COVID became a pandemic. That was in 2019. They called it Event 201. And what happened in 2020? COVID became a pandemic. So somehow they just knew they had fake stuff, news stories already done.
Saying the monkeypox.
Slow it down. So the same thing has happened now. We talked about monkeypox 9 months ago and how they were already, setting it up to where this could be a problem. You can see here, monkeypox is now in 7 states. U.S. health officials urge awareness, not fear. So just like they said, what is the first thing they said in January of 2020? They said, "Oh, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Just be safe. It's not a big deal. It doesn't spread. It's not as contagious." And 3 months later, they shut the country down. Right now, monkeypox, there was 200 cases 9 months ago. Now there's cases across the states, all in Europe, and they're saying, don't worry, it's not transmissible. We're going to keep this contained. We're keeping track on this. Don't worry.
So they have to come out with something different now.
Yeah,
because they know the COVID thing
burned out.
It's kind of burnt out. So we have to turn this up a notch. In order to get you back to where we wanted you to, we have to have a totally different new thing coming out. Something that looks way more. I mean, if you see somebody with all those bumps
you're
on
gonna
you,
get the hell away from them.
You're going to get the hell away from them.
You're not going to need to be told to social distance. You're going to get away
you're
from
gonna know. If you at a job or you say, and they say, if there's an outbreak of somebody has got monkeypox, it's going to be instant
everybody going
panic.
Yeah.
Because I already said, if it's one,
I'm out.
I'm out of there.
Now look at this. Scientists warned us about monkeypox in 1988. Here's why they were right. So they go in this article and they explain how back in 1988 they said that this could possibly become a thing in the future. Back in 1988, scientists in London almost seemed to have had a crystal ball. Oh, they just predicted the future.
Oh, it seemed like they was testing this out on them.
Writing in the International Journal of Epidemiology, they made a bold and surprisingly persistent prediction about monkeypox. Over time, the average magnitude and duration of monkeypox epidemics will increase, they wrote. Now, keep in mind, monkeypox came out of a lab. Monkeypox was found in a particular type of, a particular species of monkey in a lab. Like, this was not found they did not find a random monkey out in the jungle, test them and find monkeypox. They found them in a lab, which means
the bats in Wuhan?
Which means more than likely it was something that was put in the monkeys. Did the monkeys already have it? Or did it something they put in the monkeys? We don't know.
Did they give the monkeys some of that HIV?
You gonna keep like you like to play on the edge, I guess.
I'm tired of being fucking censored.
Okay, go ahead and say what you want to say.
No,
New pandemic warnings
alone.
issued after 250 million died in monkeypox and the horror of war grain simulation. Like I said, this was all something that they did the same thing with this right here, with Event 201. Hold on. They did the same thing. A zoonotic coronavirus transmitted from bats and pigs to people and eventually become efficiently transmissible from person to person, leading to severe pandemic. Is that not exactly what happened?
Yep.
This is 2019. The pathogen and disease cause are modeled largely on SARS, but it is more transmissible in a community setting by people with mild symptoms. All right. Then we got this right here. This organization, whatever you want to call it, their job is to protect people from nuclear threats. This is what the point of this. This is what point of this is for. As you can see here, it says strengthening global systems to prevent and respond to high consequence biological threats. Now this like I said, organization, whatever you want to call it, it was part of the reason it was created, or one of the things that it was supposed to do, was to get nuclear weapons out of Ukraine after the Soviet Union fell.
Mm-hmm.
But now we see in Ukraine we have biolabs there. And even though this is they're supposed to deal with nuclear threats, they also deal with biological stuff. So now that we know they're tied to Ukraine and there's biolabs there, is it possible that monkeypox
came from
Ukraine? Now,
and that's why Biden is sending all that money over there?
I don't know, but look at this. This in TI, they did a simulation, the same thing as Event 201, but they did it with monkeypox. They did the same thing, but they did it with monkeypox, and they did it in 2021.
And this is 2022. So we just waiting.
So
remember, we are under ceasefire.
Yeah, they said COVID is in ceasefire. So, developed in consultation with technical and policy experts, so they created this fake exercise where they did fake news clips. They did fake numbers. They predicted how things would go if the disease became more uncontained and more erratic. So listen what they said. The fictional exercise scenario portrayed a deadly global pandemic involving an unusual strain of monkeypox virus that first emerged in the fictional nation of Brianna, that spread globally over 18 months. Ultimately, the exercise scenario revealed that the initial outbreak was caused by, now listen to this, a terrorist attack using a pathogen engineered in a laboratory with inadequate biosafety and biosecurity provisions and weak oversight. By the end of the exercise, the fictional pandemic resulted in more than 3 billion cases and 270 million fatalities worldwide.
Don't that number sound good to people like Mr. Bill Gates or Queen Elizabeth's husband, who said he wanted to come back as a virus?
That's crazy. Now, I'm going to let y'all hear the fake news stories that came up for this fake monkeypox.
GNN.
Yeah, so
like CNN.
So they're telling you what they're going to say when it starts breaking out. This is a
crazy.
fake news stories that they created to simulate the real thing.
Growing questions today around a new and deadly outbreak. Scientists determined that this monkeypox virus was engineered. With limited antiviral drugs and no known effective treatments, countries around the world are struggling to control another pandemic with already devastating effects.
We're seeing far fewer cases in countries where governments took early and decisive action.
And some international experts are urging the WHO to adopt a phased approach to warnings.
Growing.
Okay, so you see that fake, the fake news right there. Now this is the full study they did, right? So I'm gonna go down. These are the people that's associated with it. Now this guy right here, George Gao, this guy is pretty much the Dr. Fauci of China. So that guy, the guy who's the Dr. Fauci of China, is.
Do you see all that stuff he got? The credentials he got listed under his name.
Exactly. Now, I want to go to this one right here. This right here, right?
This.
Now, hold on. You see it? You see it? See, Travis haven't seen this. It says May 10th, 2023 occurred 12 months after the initial outbreak. What would that be? May. Listen, we've got cases now
in May.
And right here, they're saying in 2023, and move 3 occurred 12 months after the initial outbreak, which would have been in May 2022, with more than 480 million cases and 27 million fatalities globally. At this stage, participants learned that the pandemic was caused by a regional bioterror attack that far exceeded the perpetrator's goal. Now listen, what they're telling us with this right here is in their exercise, wink, wink, that a year from now,
or
480 million people will have monkeypox and 27 million will be
look
dead.
where it's supposed to start, December 22.
Exactly.
At the end of this year. That's after the midterm elections.
So as you can see, the global cases are going to go up. It started in June 22, or really May. You see right here, May 2022. It's slow. And around December, you're going to start seeing people die from it. You're going to start seeing people die from it. And then by the time we get to 2023 December, it's going to be crazy.
A lot of flat lines.
So look, now they saying this was a exercise.
This don't seem no exercise to me. This seems like this is some shit that's about to happen.
Keep in mind, they did this exercise last year, but they predicted in May there would be cases. And all of a sudden, right in May happened, the news started talking about monkeypox. Hey.
At the end of December of this year, according to that chart.
No. That's yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And this shit
is supposed to start popping off heavily.
So at the end of this year, you're going to see a big surge in people that have monkeypox. According to this is just an exercise, but I'm just saying they also had an exercise for COVID, and that's what happened. They tell you before they do it.
Wow.
Moment of silence, because when I saw that, I was like,
yeah, we're going to need a lot of moment of silence according to this damn chart.
Now look at this. Here's what, now they telling us right now that it cannot be sprayed. I mean, that it's not airborne. But look at this. This is from 2001, the pathology of experimental aerosolized monkey virus infection, whatever, a particular type of monkey. Basically, in this right here, they figured out how to take monkeypox and spray it in the air.
Well, that's your damn chemtrails.
In 2001, they figured out how to take monkeypox, which is not airborne, and make it airborne and be able to spray it into the air. And look at this right here. In 2010, this thing load, same thing. 2010, it was updated. I ain't got to read it. You can read it. I'll leave it in the description if you want me to. They figured out not only how to spray it, but how long it can last. They now saying it can last anywhere from 18 hours to 90 hours. So almost 4 days. So when they spray it, so let's say they can walk into a room, spray it, and leave out. And anybody go in that room within 4 days possibly can get it. This is in 2010, they did this.
Well, hell, what if we go beyond them doing that? What if they start putting it in the air fresheners and the sprays that you use?
I'm just saying, they telling us now that it's not air, and the same way with COVID. What did they say when COVID first came? Oh, don't worry, you can't pass it along through, and then next thing you know, 6 months later, it can be transmissible. So don't be surprised in 2 or 3 months they tell you, oh, monkeypox, it can be transmitted in the air. Now, I don't know if it can be transmitted from person to person through the air. They might have to, might have to give it to some people, but I'm just saying, man. And now, this is Zero Heads.
Look at the symbol they have.
Yeah, the snake on it, yeah. Supposed to be a symbol for wisdom. I mean, not wisdom. Yeah, wisdom. Biden seeks new unilateral powers for WHO chief to declare public health emergencies. In this article, once again, I'm not going to read it. I'll leave it in the description. Biden is trying to give the WHO chief the power to declare a pandemic in any country. So let's say, and not just a pandemic of health, but also of ideology. And look at that. I'm going to read some of this. Among the proposed U.S. amendments, one removed an existing requirement of Section 9 of the WHO Council with and seek to obtain verification from officials in a nation which a health crisis is suspected before making any public declaration. So before they can declare anything, they have to seek verification. The same amendment provides that WHO will take into account the reports from sources other than notifications or consultants from the nation with the suspected problem. A proposed change to Section 5 would direct WHO to establish early warning criteria for assessing and progressively updating the nation, regional, or global risks posed by an event for unknown causes or sources. So basically, another thing he also did was saying, without any consulting, he can just declare a country in pandemic, have them shut down, everything. Stop other countries from having planes leave and come.
No travel ban.
No travel, anything. Now, we were just talking about the Ministry of Truth and how that was trying to control people and tell you what's right and what's wrong. If they do this, and you're in a country like Zambia, and to you, everything good. A couple of people sick from something, but it's cool. But your government ain't willing to do something. Who can then come in and say, pandemic, can't nobody come here, no tourists, no nothing, and destroy your economy? So while you're there saying, we're in the middle, it's not nothing going on, they lying on us.
And he can make it so you can't export or have anything come in and out of the country.
Yeah, so while you're in the country saying nothing is going on, but who is telling you the world you're in a pandemic and you're not allowed to travel there, you'll be banned from social media for saying you're not in a pandemic. We see them doing that right now. So if you tell the world
if somebody's in a pandemic, you're automatically going to assume that they're in a pandemic.
And if they coming out on social media saying they're lying, none of this stuff is happening, this is propaganda, banned. That's your one world government right there.
Told you.
This monkeypox thing, when I saw that,
Shit get real.
When I saw that shit say it's gonna start in May,
and then it's now May,
and it's gonna in 1 year from now, it's gonna be 27 million deaths. I'm just saying, let's just pay attention to that exercise. It's an exercise. It wasn't real. Let's just pay attention to it. I'm gonna run through these last 5 stories real quick. Biden says U.S. will defend Taiwan militarily if China invades.
You think he's gonna do something?
No, he's not gonna do anything. But China been talking real tough, and they've been looking at Russia and Ukraine like, they ain't gonna do that to us. You won't dare send Taiwan no weapons. So I wouldn't be surprised if China do it, because America is sending all this money and resources to Ukraine. China might say, yeah, we're gonna take it now. Do something. And that'll really expose Biden. Biden has to talk tough to China, because what we know about him and his son having so many ties to China and Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah, but so many ties to China that he got to talk tough, but he ain't gonna do nothing. Matter of fact, Taiwan been thinking like, shit, should we go ahead and just partner with Taiwan? I mean, partner with China so we ain't gotta lose no people, because they ain't gonna do shit. America ain't gonna do nothing to help them.
I don't know.
The White House official quickly walked back the president's comments, saying U.S. policy toward the self-governing island had not changed. Once again, America doesn't have a policy to invade or protect, quote unquote, Taiwan militarily. It's supposed to be a hands-off situation. You're supposed to sanction China if they do something to Taiwan, like you're doing with Russia. You're not sending people over there to fight them. You're just sanctioning Russia. But for whatever reason, he felt the need to boast his chest against China, because he know he ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, no, yeah, he got to pretend like China ain't actually running stuff and telling them what to do behind the scenes.
Yeah, speaking of telling somebody what to do, YouTube removes more than 9,000 channels. More than 9,000 channels relating to Ukraine war.
They're gonna be removing more too.
So all the channels that's talking about this, like channels that's made off of just talking about this war,
they're gone.
They're getting rid of them. Also, YouTube removes more than 70,000 videos and 9,000 channels related to Ukraine war. So 70,000 videos. That seems like it don't seem like a lot, actually. I'm pretty sure there's millions being made. So in those 70,000, what is being said in them? That seems like a very concentrated number.
Those 70,000 videos are talking about things that they don't want to be talked about on YouTube.
Those are very concentrated videos. That's a low number for how many people are talking about this stuff. So that tells me those videos was telling the real, more than likely.
They was taking a chunk out of Ukraine.
Yeah, like you said about what's the name? Oh, hold on. Oh, here we go. All right, tensions rise as drought worsens and heat surges across California.
They thought this was going to be in what, 20, 30 years?
They thought it was like 2060, 2050.
This is here
now. The mega drought is on the West Coast. Up here in Seattle, when I first came up here, I can remember distinctly the first rain that I witnessed. It was so much.
It don't rain like that now.
I know, it was so much rain for like a week. It had to rain like a tropical storm, but it's not really a lot of lightning thundering up here. It's just rain.
And every time you leave and go somewhere, it's raining.
Yeah.
And then you come back from where you gone, it's raining when you return. That's my first experience. As soon as I got off the plane here, it was dark, gloomy, and gray, and I was like,
"You here in Seattle?
What the hell did I get myself into?"
You left old sunny Carolina.
I mean, there's a thunderstorm or two in the afternoon, but it clears up
quickly.
They talking about the devil beating his wife.
But rain.
Black people in there,
witchcraft. But now it's no rain really. It's drizzles.
Yeah.
And we made a point. Is that real drizzle?
Is that real drizzle?
We up here and Bill Gates is up here.
It's like, is that fake rain? Is he making it rain here?
If it rains and you don't even notice it. It's like it'll drizzle in a weird hour of the day. It's like,
I would definitely say within probably within the last 3 years, it don't rain like it used to.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nowhere near as much as it used to rain here.
Definitely not. But I think that's the last thing we're gonna talk about, man. It's a long one. This is our first time going live. I'm sorry, we just went.
Well, normally the videos be longer than this. We still have about an hour to go.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
But we just did this because I didn't feel like having to upload that whole thing. So hopefully y'all enjoyed it, man. We didn't get to read.
We didn't get to read the comments like we wanted to, but next time we'll keep an eye on the comments and stuff.
Yeah, next time we'll make sure to listen, see what y'all saying. But anyway, man, hope y'all enjoyed it. You got anything else you want to say?
Thanks for viewing the channel, as always.
That's it?
That's it. I didn't even get to tell my story about what happened.
Go ahead, tell your story now.
Oh, yeah. You know, downtown Seattle, somebody just setting buildings on fire. It's crazy how we live in a world where people just allow us, you know, set buildings on fire.
You saw a man set a fire, and another black dude was like, should I call the cop?
And I had to say, yeah, call the cops.
I think it's because he's so used to chaos. It's like, is this something I call the cops for, or do we just let it rock?
And then somebody just go in the grocery store and stealing stuff, and they don't even leave no more. They just stand there and argue with you.
Yeah, it is crazy.
This is all in one day.
But anyway, man, I think that's it on that. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Next time, if we do this next week, we'll be sure to put up like a scheduled situation or something like that. But anyway, man, y'all be safe. All praise to the Most High, and peace, man.